I find that I ponder the meaning of life a lot more when I receive news that I'd rather not receive, like the passing of a loved one. I want to ask you, do you do that as well? You know, when you receive the news of, a terrible loss or misfortune, you know, I tend to think about the meaning of life, and I'm not sure that I believe myself when I justify the news by saying that it's just a part of life, that it's just part of the circle of life. I don't make a habit of reading the obituary columns in the newspaper, but occasionally, you hear about strangers that have passed away or suffered misfortune. And many have experienced a long and full life. They've contributed to society in a meaningful way. They were visible within their community. I think about how proud their family must be. And I also imagine the hurt and grief that they're experiencing. And I read about the 42-year-old father who succumbed to cancer and leaves behind a wife and two children. And I wonder how this is fair, how this is a fair world. And just like you when you hear this stuff, your heart aches when you read about, children in these terrible tragic accidents. You know, I've been a life coach and grief counselor for a long time now. And just like anyone else in the world, I'm no stranger to death. It scares me, and I don't deal with it well. And by the way, death is a lot scarier than this cartoon that I have here. You know, just like anyone else, I find death, it's emotionally overwhelming. Um, you feel compassion, sadness, just pure pain, empathy, and love all rolled together. And it can hit like a tsunami. I've lost high school friends to accidents, drugs, or disease. I've seen firsthand the impact on a family when their young daughter took their own life. And like so many others, I've said goodbye to relatives only after they've gone. I don't know why I'm so impacted by death. It's not that I think about it all the time. And I know this is an extremely morbid video. I apologize, but you know, it's something that needs to be talked about because we all think about this stuff. Maybe subconsciously you fear the loss of a parent, a sibling, a family member. Maybe in my case, maybe I'm just sort of a coward who doesn't want to die. Who knows? Young people seldom think about death. They're so busy living life, and when you're young, you feel invincible. And old people tend to prepare for death and accept the event as a natural and inevitable occurrence. The experience and reality maybe have tempered their emotions. The grief and hurt is still there, and so is the reflection on the positive aspects of an individual's life. And for some, their biggest worry is if they'll outlive their friends. Who's going to even attend their funeral? Maybe this aging process will help me to become less sensitive to the loss of not only those I love, but to those I have only read about in a newspaper. I'm thankful that my fear of death is more than offset by my passion for life, and that's kind of the moral of this whole video. Because that should be your perspective. Your passion for life should exceed your fear of death. It's kind of hard to speak seriously with this guy looking at us both in the face right now. But your passion for life, it should exceed your fear of death. And, where does this discussion of death take us? Well, it could be the end of a journey or the beginning of a new one, depending on your beliefs. If you were to have a tombstone, you ever think about what it would read? And here we are back to the question, what's our mission? What's our purpose, our goal? One accolade might read, here lays an honest person who cared about the people around him, respected others, and made a positive difference in the lives of everyone he encountered. If you envision how you want others to remember you, it might provide a valuable compass to aid us down the path of life. In a perfect world, perhaps caring and understanding might extend well beyond our community and our country. Imagine a common bond based on desire for truth, peace, and mutual respect. The fact is, we can't do a lot about death, but we can very much impact life, our own and others. And if right now you're experiencing a situation where you're surrounded by death or loss, it's very possible you're going through some very strong emotions about grief right now. And I highly recommend you visit my site, transformgrief.com, where I provide a ton of videos on how to start getting you in a better mindset, how to start feeling better and more positive, and sort of move past your grief and feelings of loss. So I highly recommend you check it out. There's no reason you should feel, sad when you can start feeling better and start looking forward to life instead of running away from things that, worry you. So check it out right now. Take care, guys. Bye.